So Citi recently rebranded their old Premier card to now become the Citi Strata Premier with a new card design and a few small updated features and benefits. But even though on the surface these changes might seem pretty minor, I actually think that right now the Citi Strata Premier could be one of the best all-around credit cards on the market. So in this video, I want to go over what I think is so great about this credit card right here, while also talking about some things that I don't really like as well. And then we're also going to throw in how the Citi Strata Premier now fits into my own personal credit card strategy, because I actually decided to get this card myself, obviously, once I took a deeper look at it. Now, first of all, just like with any credit card, I always like to start off here by taking a look at the sign-up bonus versus the annual fee. That way I could sort of see exactly how much value anyone might be able to get from this card in year one, as well as all years beyond that. So for me, I was able to take advantage of a limited time sign-up bonus on the Strata Premier that Citi decided to run when they updated this card. So the limited time offer that I got was for 75,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. Now, by the time you watch this video, that offer could go back down to something lower, like maybe 60,000 points, which was actually the old standard offer on the previous Citi Premier card. So if we run those two scenarios side by side with a 60K offer and a 75K offer, assuming that we're able to get 1 cent per point in value when redeeming for something like cashback gift cards or travel booked through Citi, then 60,000 points is going to be worth $600, and then 75,000 points would be worth $750. However, if you redeem your credit card points like me by transferring out to one of the many travel partner programs that you get access to on the Strata Premier, which we'll talk about later on, we can find ways to get closer to 2 cents per point, or maybe even a little bit more than that, depending on the redemption. So 60,000 points could potentially be worth $1,200 in value for travel, and then 75,000 points could potentially be worth $1,500. Now, there is still a $95 annual fee here on the Strata Premier, but obviously you're going to be coming out well ahead of the annual fee in year one with this card, no matter what bonus you get. So because I'm somebody that actively looks to take advantage of sign-up bonuses on a few new credit cards every single year, the fact that there was a limited time 75K offer, that definitely played a role here when I decided to get this card. Now, in year 2 and beyond here, obviously there's going to be no more sign-up bonus, so we need to look at some other ways to make sure that the $95 annual fee is still going to be worth it. And on the surface, there's really going to be 2 main ways to do that, and then one backup option that we'll talk about later on. So first, there's going to be the great spending multipliers here on this card that I think are some of the best out of any credit card out there. And then second is the $100 annual hotel benefit that Citi advertises on their website, where once per calendar year, you can get $100 off a hotel stay of $500 or more, excluding taxes and fees, when you book that hotel stay through cititravel.com. Now, to get a good and accurate value from this $100 hotel credit, 2 things have to be true here, because first of all, you need to actually expect that you're going to spend at least $500 on a hotel stay at some point during the year. And then second of all, you need to make sure that the prices within the Citi Travel portal are actually going to be competitive to the prices you might find anywhere else when you're booking. So to test out whether these Citi portal prices are actually any good here, I decided to run a super quick test just by looking for hotels in my home city of Philadelphia for a random 3-day weekend later this year. And I looked at 4 hotels in Philly that came to mind for me, with 1 from Hyatt, 1 from Hilton, and then 2 from Marriott. However, what I found here was a bit disappointing, because for every single hotel, the before taxes and fees price through the Citi Travel website was anywhere from around $40 to $80 more expensive than if I just booked through the hotel directly. So what that means is that based on these results, I might end up paying on average anywhere from $40 to $80 more by booking through Citi just to save $100. So that means the net savings here from using this hotel credit is more like $20 to $60. Now again, this was only a quick test of 4 hotels here, so your mileage may vary. And if you get the Strata Premier, then I definitely think it is going to be worth it to try out this hotel credit, because you still may be able to get some value back. But if this credit is supposed to be a way to get customers to start using the Citi Travel portal, then in my opinion, it's off to a pretty bad start. But who knows, maybe I just got to play around with it some more. So again, for anyone out there, just let me know down in the comments below if you've tried this out and if you have any good or bad experiences with it. Now, as we start to get into the spending multipliers here, there is going to be one possible way to maybe get a little bit more value back when booking certain things through Citi, because with the Strata Premier, you're going to be able to earn 10x points per dollar on hotels, car rentals, and attractions when you book that through cititravel.com. So for example, if we were trying to book a hotel stay that was $500 through Citi Travel, but then $450 through the hotel directly, technically we'd be earning 10x Citi points on the $500 charge because of the special 10x multiplier. So with that, that would be 5,000 Citi points we earn, which are worth $50 at a minimum value of 1 cent per point. $500 minus the $50 in value from all the points we earned here gets us down to essentially the same $450 net cost that we'd be paying when booking directly through the hotel in this basic example. However, there's also a bunch of other really great spending multipliers here on the Strata Premier card, which includes earning 3x points per dollar on air travel, other hotel purchases, restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and now EV charging as well. So back to that example, if we paid $450 when booking a stay directly through a hotel, then we'd earn 3x back back on that, which equals 1,350 points, and 1,350 points are worth $13.50 at a minimum value of 1 cent per point. That means that $450 minus $13.50 would give us a net cost of $436.50 when booking through the hotel directly, which is still the cheaper option here compared to booking through Citi Travel. But then the $100 annual hotel credit could make the travel portal option the cheaper option here. So again, you always just have to run the numbers for yourself. Now, in my opinion, that's just way too many hoops to jump through just to say that the $100 hotel credit here and the 10x back through Citi Travel is actually going to be worth it. So again, your mileage may vary here, but these benefits are not really as great as they might seem. But back to those other 3x multipliers, again, you're going to be able to earn 3x points per dollar on air travel, other hotel purchases, restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and then EV charging. And to me, the thing that I really love here is that as an everyday spending credit card, the Strata Premier is really a great option because those categories represent things that we all spend money on during an average day. Now, comparing the Citi Strata Premier, which has the abbreviation of CSP, to another popular card that we also call the CSP, which is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Sapphire Preferred is going to be much more limited in its spending categories because even though it earns 3x back on dining, it only gets 3x back for online groceries, and then it has no gas or EV charging category, but instead it earns 3x back on select streaming services and only 2x back on travel unless you book directly through Chase, where you can earn 5x back. To me, that makes the Citi Strata Premier hands down the much better everyday use credit card here between these two options. So even though the Sapphire Preferred does have plenty of other useful features to kind of make up for its average spending multipliers, I really think the Strata Premier is a serious competitor here, and it's going to get a lot more spending from me now that I have it in my wallet. Now, other than EV charging, all those 3x multipliers are actually going to be nothing new here because the old Citi Premier card did earn 3x in all the same ways. But one important change that Citi made to this card when they rebranded it to the Strata Premier that really honestly helps out a lot with earning 3x back on air travel and hotels is going to be the fact that now you get some travel protections as well. So Citi got rid of those travel protections on the older Citi Premier card, which honestly kind of made it hard to recommend as a true travel credit card. But now that they're back, it does make earning 3x back on flights and hotels feel at least a little bit improved. No one ever wants to use things like trip delay protection or trip cancellation and interruption protection, but when literally every other single credit card out there offers these kinds of things, it was something that definitely had to be changed. So it is nice to see Citi paying attention to this. However, one thing that I did want to call out here is that Citi mentions that car rental insurance is now going to be a part of these travel protections here on the Strata Premier. But when we go ahead and read the fine print, that coverage is actually going to be secondary, which means that we would have to go through our own insurance first before being able to actually use that secondary coverage provided on this card. Now, always make sure you go ahead and do your own research on anything related to insurance benefits like this, because I'm by no means an insurance expert. But when there's other credit cards out there like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, for example, or even the Bilt MasterCard, which both offer primary car rental coverage, to me, those are just the much better options that I've always used personally whenever I'm renting cars. So it is fine. There's some car rental coverage here on the Strata Premier, but it could be better. Now, you also have no foreign transaction fees here on the Citi Strata Premier, which is going to be great because as a MasterCard, you should be able to pretty easily use this credit card outside of the US while still earning 3x back in a number of ways. But the next thing I did want to cover here could be viewed as a negative with this card that some people kind of forget to consider with their credit cards, and that is going to be customer service. Now, in terms of customer service, what you're going to see a lot of people talk about online, especially over on places like Reddit, is that Citi is just really, really bad with this stuff, with some people even saying it is the worst customer service compared to any other major credit card issuer. Personally, I've had the Strata Premier for a little bit over a month now, and then I've had the Citi Custom Cash card for almost 2 years, plus an American Airlines business credit card through Citi for about a year. And so far, honestly, I've had zero issues with these cards or even with customer service. I did have to get in touch with Citi, I think just one time, to get a credit applied for a checked bag fee with that American Airlines card, which they were able to easily help me out with. But I still wanted to address this customer service issue here as a potentially negative thing to consider because so many other people out there have talked about this stuff. So obviously there's got to be some credibility to these concerns. What I will say though is that for most people, the interaction that you might have with customer service really tends to be pretty minor, and hopefully you really don't even have to speak with customer service that much at all. But again, on this one, your mileage may vary, so I'll just potentially mention that here, that bad customer service is something to think about, even though, like I said, I really haven't had any issues to report myself. Now, next, I want to quickly talk about how the Strata Premier fits in with two other Citi credit cards, the Citi Double Cash and the Citi Custom Cash. And that's because all three of these credit cards here earn the same Citi thank you points, which can then be essentially combined to the point where you can then redeem those points for more value by accessing the transfer partners over on the Strata Premier. Having these three cards together is commonly called the Citi Trifecta, which is honestly a pretty underrated overrated setup in my opinion, because you're going to be able to earn 3x back on air travel, hotels, restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and EV charging on the Strata Premier. Then you're going to earn 5x back on your top spend category on the custom cash, plus 2x back on everything else as a catch-out card with the double cash. Personally, I've been using the custom cash as my dedicated gas credit card for the past 2 years now, so that way I've always been able to earn 5x back on my gas spending. And then my plan was always that at some point in the future, I would get the old Citi Premier card. That way I could take all those points I earned with the custom cash, combine them with the Premier, and then redeem those points for travel using the Premier. Now, with the update to the Strata Premier and the limited time offer that I was able to get, again, I figured that right now is just going to be a great time to take advantage of this new credit card right here. And what I actually plan on doing at the moment is just to switch out my Amex Gold card, which normally earned 4x back on groceries. And now I'm going to use my custom cash only for groceries to earn 5x back on that instead. And then I'll just use that Strata Premier card to earn 3x back on gas. Another thing that I honestly really like about the Strata Premier in the whole Citi ecosystem is the fact that there's also going to be a lot of very good downgrade options at the end of the day. So after 1 year with the Strata Premier, if you find out that you're not really getting enough value out of this card to justify the annual fee, then there's plenty of data points online of people out there downgrading to either the no annual fee custom cash or the no annual fee double cash. So in other words here, the best case scenario is that you love the Strata Premier and you're able to happily pay the $95 annual fee in year 2 when this card comes up for renewal. And then worst case is that you could just downgrade to a very good no annual fee card, but you still got a very good sign up bonus in year 1 if you were able to reach the minimum spend. There's also lots of rumors out there that Citi is even looking at releasing some sort of a premium version of a Strata card at some point, maybe later this year or next year, which could compete with cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or Capital One Venture X. So there's even a possibility that you might be able to upgrade to that card at some point in the future if that turns out to be a more appealing option to you. Now, as far as transfer partners go with the Citi Strata Premier, there's going to be plenty of good options here that we could work with in terms of airlines out there that are part of either One World Alliance, such as Cathay Pacific and Qatar Airways, and those airlines can be used to book American Airlines award seats and other One World award seats. There's Star Alliance airlines like Avianca and Turkish, which can be used to book United and other Star Alliance award seats. And then there's also going to be SkyTeam airlines that you can transfer to, like Air France and KLM Flying Blue, as well as Virgin Atlantic, which can be used to book Delta and other SkyTeam award seats. The hotel programs that partner with Citi are going to be a bit more of a weak spot, in my opinion, with these transfer partners, just because you have programs like Choice and Wyndham, but not Hyatt, Marriott, or Hilton. But there are definitely still going to be ways to redeem for hotel stays that I'll try to cover when I do a full guide on how to redeem Citi points that you should definitely go ahead and subscribe down below to see in the future. But again, the hotel partners here with Citi are not going to be quite as good as what we see with Chase, Bilt, or even Amex. So to me, the Citi Strata Premier is a great $95 entry-level travel credit card that honestly I think is going to become more and more popular just because of its 3x multipliers and its ability to work with the custom cash and double cash cards. And even though the hotel credit here on this card might not be as great as Citi advertises, I do still think there is going to be a lot of value here, especially if you're able to get a good sign-up bonus. Now, if you want to learn more about how to redeem your credit card points for American, United, or even Delta flights within the United States by using just some of the transfer partners that can be found here on this card, then definitely go ahead and check out this video over here on the screen next, where I've got a bunch of examples. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.